From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to beat the champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the Tonawanda Bowling Center for a really fun edition of Beat the Champ. We had great competition through our first 3 weeks. We had big names, but today we're going to have a little bit of fun. And we've got big names like Zarcone and Labiak and Raxenberger and Weber, but it's the other Webers, the kids, the Raxenberger kids, the Marlatt kids that are going to be the stars of our Adult Youth Challenge.
Well, we haven't proven that the regular Beat the Champ bowlers haven't gone out and sought out the best youth bowlers they could find.
Probably.
Put on a great show today, right?
Yeah, and we're not entirely sure that the regular, based on the way the regular bowlers struggled a little bit at times here at Tonawanda, it made me rely on those kids to save them a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a handicap competition, so we'll fill you in on that as we go along, and it's going to be Baker format, so it'll be one frame will be the adult, one frame will be the youth bowler, and that's how we'll fill our 10 frames, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some great young bowlers. We've got some outstanding, slightly older bowlers. We're going to see how they all team out and match up. It's our Adult Youth Challenge here at the Tonawanda Bowling Center, so let's get rolling.
Hi, I'm on Beat the Champ with Mike and Lane. Lane, tell us your last name, honey.
Marlatt.
Marlatt. And how do you know Mike?
It was adult youth at Wimbledon Lanes. I needed a partner, and Carrie hooked me up with this guy.
Oh yeah, this guy right here. You watched him shoot 846. Was that pretty impressive?
That was something. That was the highest set I've ever seen bowled.
Oh my, that's awesome, and a good time for you, right?
Yeah.
So we got some potential here, Mike?
Yes, absolutely. He's a good young man.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see them both today. Good luck to both of you. Hi, I'm here at Beat the Champ with these two heavyweights over here, Chris Labiak and Mike Weber. I have a feeling you guys are the team to beat, right? What are you averaging these days, young man?
I average 228.
And what are you averaging these days, young man?
I think they have me the book for 235.
Wow. So we've got some heavy hitters over here. And I just talked to your sister, you know, that whole handicap thing. We got the whole family competition this time, but I see you got yourself a new partner.
Oh, absolutely. I had to kick my dad to the curb from the last show, but yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a friendly competition here amongst family and friends. Let's get rolling.
Match number one, it's Chris Labiak and his partner Michael Weber against Mike Zarcone and his partner Lane Marlatt to get ourselves started here with our Adult Youth Challenge at the Tonawanda Bowling Center. Go ahead and explain to us the format and the handicap scoring.
Okay, so it's based on their averages, and in this case, Mike and Lane, we were talking about Mike Zarcone and Lane, will be getting 39 pins based on the difference in their averages. And we're going to do a Baker format, so we're going to watch Chris Labiak here, our old friend, the two-hander, starting on
the first two-hander we ever had on the show.
Yeah, starting on 37 with a nice strike.
With a strike for Chris Labiak.
So Mike's strategy is to let the youth bowler go first. So Lane will bowl, and then Mike Weber will follow on lane 37. So it's going to be Baker. They'll switch off.
Zarcone is always working the strategies
always
here.
Working the strategy.
Always working everything. So this is Lane Marlatt. He's 13 years old from Williamsville, and he knocks down 9 pins. He's a 7th grader at Mill Middle School in Williamsville. He's been bowling for about 6 of his 13 years and is an outstanding young bowler here in Western New York. So he'll learn something by hanging around Mike Zarcone for a little while here today, too. Let's see if Lane can pick up the spare. He's going to miss it a little bit, so. So we're off to a roaring start here in our Adult Youth Challenge, and now Mike Zarcone, Lane's teammate, will take care of things here in the second frame.
Okay, so we'll keep in mind that Mike and Lane are starting with 39 pins, so he will actually have 48 in the first frame because of the handicap.
Yeah, a little bump of the 10 pin gets Mike Zarcone a second frame strike, and now we get our first look at Michael Weber. And we've had Michael on the show before. He is really an outstanding young bowler from a terrific bowling family, and Michael is great, and it's good to catch him back here on Beat the Champ. Wow, how about that?
Wow, what a shot. So this is the thing in this format. In a Baker format, it's really team-oriented. There's not going to be one person that's going to be able to carry the day. They're going to have to work together as a team. So sometimes when you have the big discrepancy in averages, it's not to the advantage. Because in this case, Mike Weber averages in 220s and Chris Labiak averages in the 230s. So they are the team to beat. They are definitely the heavy hitters here today.
Pounded those pins pretty good, just could not get the 7-pin to go down. We've seen Chris a number of times here. Matter of fact, we've seen him 5 different times on our regular Beat the Champ show. Chris with 6 wins and 3 losses, but haven't seen him in a while. So, matter of fact, I think it's been almost a year since we were last at the Tonawanda Bowling Center that we've seen Chris.
Yeah, it has been a little while.
Must be working too hard.
Gotta do something about that.
Good spare pickup for Chris.
I think he covered every board when he shot that spare.
Yeah, he went all the way from the right to all the way to the left. So, all right, so now back over to Lane for frame number 3. He and his partner Mike Zarcone. Lane bowls regularly on Saturday mornings in the Junior League at Transit Lanes, where he averages about 147. Has his mom Danielle and his dad Craig here cheering him on at Tonawanda Bowling Center.
What occurs here late in the day too, it's one of the challenges is of course the lanes have been broken down quite a bit by quite a bit of bowling, which these younger bowlers really don't see on a regular basis. I mean, Mike Weber has the advantage of been bowling, you know, not adult leagues, but he's been bowling on a higher level now for a while. But so he's seen a variety of lane conditions, but these lanes really force you to play in, so you need
nice spare
very nice
pickup.
spare.
Nicely done by Lane Marlatt.
Beautiful spare.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
Unable to get it in the 5th frame, so now Mike comes back in frame number 6. It's Mike Zarcone and Lane Marlatt versus Chris Labiak and Michael Weber. First match of our Adult Youth Challenge here at the Tonawanda Bowling Center, and a typical Mike Zarcone strike. And now young Michael Weber, who is one of the most impressive young bowlers here in Western New York, bowls on the Maryvale high school team with a 228 average.
Oh, wow,
Ooh.
that's 710 again on lane 38. Wow.
Mike is the Tonawanda Bowling Association Youth Bowler of the Year with the association's high game series and average.
And we were there for that. We saw him getting his award at Salvatore's last Wednesday, a couple Wednesdays ago.
Right. And a correction, Michael does not bowl for Maryvale. He was the singles champion at the Maryvale tournament. Nice spare pickup for him.
So that'll put them up 4 pins now.
Even so, they've overcome the entire handicap right now.
Yeah.
Fran looks so relaxed over there, doesn't he?
Very relaxed.
We're not making him work too hard. I believe we're paying him commensurate with the amount of.
And he's got the score right too.
Paying him with the amount commensurate with the amount of work he's putting in. There, so. There's Chris Labiak with a powerful strike. And these guys are starting to take control of this match.
Yeah.
So now back to Lane Marlatt.
So I'm guessing Mike's telling him to move in, which he did. Good shot. Good
There
job.
you go. A little coaching from Mike Zarcone gets the job done. That's a double for the Lane and Mike team.
It's always good when they can follow instruction.
Yep. And boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about Lane getting a chance to hang out with Mike Zarcone for a little while this afternoon. You couldn't ask for to be around a better bowler to try to pick up some things and learn from.
Nice shot.
That's 3 in a row. You know, and again, and good for Lane to be able to say, whatever this guy tells me to do, I'm going to do. I've seen this guy on TV almost every week. I'm going to listen to whatever he tells me to do.
It's really cute. They're down there on the bench strategizing.
That's a double for the Chris and Michael team. Each guy chipping in with a strike. Boy, Michael Weber is Michael Weber is going to be on our regular Beat the Champ show here pretty quickly.
Well, this is our 3rd time here, and it's their third time making the show. I mean, remember the year that the dad bowled with both of the kids? And I mean, it's hard to believe because he's gotten so much taller, and both of them have grown up so much in the last 3 years, him and his sister.
We will see Caitlin Weber in our next match, as she teams up with her dad, Mike Weber.
Right.
And that'll be match number 2 against Carrie Raxenberger and her daughter, Callie. 9th frame now for Lane.
Oh.
Yeah, it just kind of died on him a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, it was close. He got it to the right, just a little bit too much.
Just 13 years old is Lane Marlatt. Got a bright future ahead of him in the bowling world. And again, if you and I are still around about 10 years or so from now, still doing Beat the Champ, it's going to be,
we'll still be
literally
around.
it'll be Michael Weber versus Lane Marlatt, like, you know, and grizzled veterans Dana Vojtovich and Kevin Bianco as regulars on the show, right? I hope we're still here. I hope we're still here then, calling some of these outstanding young bowlers as they continue to move up the ladder.
Right. We'll be flying home from Fort Myers for the
That's right.
for the shows.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Mike Zarcone will probably still be the top winner and top appearing bowler on the show.
Well, I know you'll have those stats. Oh. He knew that in order to have a
Mike
chance.
saw it. Saw that he wasn't going to get the 10 pin. So this has been a lot of fun. I would stick around because we're going to have even more fun. The winner of this match is going to advance to our championship match, take on the winner of match number 2, as we mentioned. So we're going to have some fun with this. And this is what makes this show great, is we get to take a little break from the regular competition and have some fun and expose everybody in Western New York to some of the great young bowlers or whatever exhibition matches that we've been able to bring you over the years.
Right.
And even I think back to the handicap bowling that we did at Manor Lanes, which was an amazing opportunity for people in Western. You see what some of the handicapped folks or disabled folks have been able to do with this sport. So that's why we do this, and that's why we have some fun with it as well too. So the final score posted on the board for Mike and Lane's team is a 242.
No, 230.
Oh, 230, correction.
Any amount of pins he gets here is going to be enough.
And he gets them all. So Michael Weber will clinch the win for the Weber and Labiak team. They're going to advance on to our championship match. We will talk to Mike and Lane about how things went for them and get you ready for match number 2 when Sue and I return to the Tonawanda Bowling Center. It's our Adult Youth Challenge. More to come on Beat the Champ. All right, Coach Zarcone, how'd Mr. Marlatt do here today?
Lane did great. He's a great young bowler. We'll be back.
Yeah, I know. You gave him a little advice. He took to it, and right off the bat gets a strike out of it, right?
Yeah, he did. He bowls great. We'll be back.
Yeah. Lane, do you realize you had the chance to get like personal coaching from one of the best guys in town?
Yeah, I'm just honored that I could bowl with him.
Right. What'd you learn here from Mr. Zarcone?
Got to make your spares, stay consistent and strike.
Right. There you go. Sounds just like you.
That's right.
Make those spares, stay consistent, right?
And strike.
There you go, kids. That's your best advice from Mike Zarcone. We've got match number 2. It's coming up from Tonawanda right after this.
I'm on Beat the Champ with Mike and Kaylin Weber, their third stop here at the Tonawanda Bowling Center for our fourth show. You've grown up a lot, young lady, and I saw you get a lot of awards at the banquet the other night, which congratulations. So not competing against your brother and your dad this time, right?
No, I'm pretty much just bowling with my dad this time.
So tell us a little bit about how you got here. What was the scores? Did you have fun qualifying? Tell us the scores.
We bowled really good during qualifying because we weren't sure what we did good, and so he did better than me, obviously, but he helped me get there.
She still bowled really well. Kaylin bowled a 5.34. I think I shot like 7.13, so she bowled really well, picked up almost every single one of her single pin spares. I think she left like 7 or 8 10 pins and picked up 6, only missed 1.
Excellent. I'm so looking forward to bowling, and a little bragging rights if you can beat Chris and your brother.
Yeah, I for sure will.
All right, well, good luck to you. Hi, I'm on Beat the Champ with Carrie and Kelly Raxenberger. Now, I know you. What a great bowler you are. Tell us a little bit about this little girl.
Well, she just started bowling this year, and we couldn't be more proud of her, of how she's thrown the ball. She decided she wanted to take 4 steps, and here we are. She's thrown the ball great.
And your dad tells me that you improved like 30 pins in average. Is that true?
Yes.
And I have to ask you, because, you know, you're a growing girl, what is it that you like to drink?
Milk.
Milk. Good answer. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to watching you bowl. So let's put on a good show today, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right.
It's time for match number 2. It's the Raxenbergers, Carrie and Callie on the left, and the Webers, Mike and Caitlin on the right. Match number 2, winner of this will go on to our championship match against Chris Labiak and Michael Weber. So we have the potential for a little family showdown here, depending on how all this shakes out. So again, same format as we saw before, rotating shots, the Baker format, and again, explain our pins handicap because it's a big one for the Raxenbergers.
It is. So they're getting 50 pins, and because of the difference in their averages, and I think they're deciding who's going to go first here.
And it looks like Kaylin Weber, 12 years old, is going to step up and start things off for the Weber squad.
Now, she's 12?
She is 12.
Look at her. That is just an awesome.
164 average for Kaylin. Bowls for the Kenmore East varsity bowling team and led them in average, game, and series scores.
At 12.
At 12. Now, she comes from one of the first families of Western New York bowling, so I think a little bit of that is rubbed off, but that's okay. That's great. So now Kaylin's got a couple pins here to grab this spare. Nice smooth stroke.
Very smooth.
And a good spare pickup.
Absolutely excellent fundamentals, which will always come in handy for her.
Mm-hmm. Were you that good when you were 12 years old?
No.
No?
No, I had this terrible...
You were be allowed to say yes, you were.
No, I had this terrible skip that I had in my step that I had to work on getting rid of.
Right. All right, well, how about this? Were you this good when you were 7 years old?
Oh, no, did you see that adorable little follow-through she's got?
And that is Callie Raxenberger, 7 years old. And look at the smile on her face. She goes, I just knocked 8 pins down. Way to go.
She's got to watch that follow through and how she lets her arm swing afterwards. It is just precious.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're going to enjoy watching this match because, hey, anytime you get a chance to watch a really impressive 7-year-old who's just on top of the world right now and a really good young up-and-coming bowler like Kaylin, along with their parents, this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's see how Callie does on the spare pickup.
Oh, that follow-through of hers is just excellent.
Yeah, that's all right. Still a good old smile anyway, and that's okay. So,
I mean, you got to consider the fact she is 7 years old.
7 years old. Were you even bowling when you were 7 years old?
No, not like this. No.
Right.
You know, other than maybe going with the family.
Uh huh. Well, and you know, again,
but my parents, my dad bowled, but my mom, you know, not to the level.
Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what's great about, what's great about this sport and the opportunity for these kids to learn from their parents and the people that are around their parents, and their parents are obviously some of the more notable names in Western New York bowling, and there's no question that there are some of the genes that are passed down, but it's more than that. It's going and watching them. It's being at the bowling centers, being around them, being able to ask mom and dad, hey, did I do this right? Do I want to do this better? Right now, the mom and the dad here are ripping it up so far. So whatever they're doing, kids, just do that. And there was a qualifying process that got us to these teams here, our final 4 teams. So there was a qualifying here at the Tonawanda Bowling Center that established our 4 teams. Here's Kaylin.
Nice shot.
Just had that one spin around the 10, but a good shot for Kaylin in frame number 3. And again, they've got a big pin handicap to overcome here, but they're off to a good start doing it.
Right.
Unless Callie's going to keep knocking 7 and 8 pins down every time.
I saw that. Her body wasn't turned towards the 10 pin, so there was no place for the ball to go.
Mm-hmm. All right, here comes Callie.
But they've got, they're pretty poised for being on TV at the young ages that they are.
I like it. Over the 3rd arrow. Staying close to the head pin. And a strike! High fives all around for Callie Raxenberger with the strike. That is awesome. You could just see it coming, right? You saw like, wait, that ball is going right where it needs to go.
Pressure's on mom now.
Yes, pressure is on mom without question.
Oh, she got that in.
Oh, yeah, that's the only problem with turning your kids into prodigies is they start showing you up a little bit. Of course, Carrie Raxenberger, one of the outstanding female bowlers here in Western New York, has been for a long time. You've competed and teamed up with her over the years.
Absolutely. This looks like a good time to take a break. We'll be back with more Beat the Champ right after this. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
So things may be a little quieter here in the bowling world in the summertime, but not on Beat the Champ. We keep it going year round.
Another nice shot.
Yeah, well, I think Kaylin has reached that point that every bowler reaches, which is, why aren't those pins going down? What's going on? What am I doing?
She's looking at her father going like, what's going on here?
Yep.
What can I do different?
You go from being happy to knock any of them down to being angry that they don't all go down. Kaylin was the Bowling Proprietors of Western New York Autumn Tournament champion, New York State Handicap Scholarship Tournament #1 qualifier, finished 4th at the States. New York State Pepsi Scratch Scholarship Tournament #1 qualifier, finished 5th. And I mentioned led the Ken Maurice varsity bowling team in average, game, and series. And qualified to bowl in the sectionals. These are all accomplishments that someday little Callie Raxenberger will have on her resume as well, too.
Good shot. Her dad told me that she went up 30 pins in average this year.
That's great.
And she asked to go to a 4-step approach.
Callie was the Buffalo and Tonawanda Bantam Girls All-Event Champion. And on the team championship with her brother Jacob and Lane Marlatt that we just saw, and Lucas Selk. And then she was the singles champion in Buffalo as well, all at age 7 years old.
Wow.
Going right for the head pin. Oh! Thought we were going to grab another spare there. So remember, coming in with a 50-pin advantage, Carrie and Callie have done a good job, as you can see on the Castellone scoreboard, of maintaining that lead.
Right, with their they've only used 20 of those pins. They're still up 30.
See, that's what that big strike from Callie was huge. And by the way, do we not love the matching bowling outfits here as well?
Totally.
Too,
They
right?
look adorable.
Spare by Mom in the 8th frame. All right, so big hill to overcome here for the Weber squad. Let's see what Mike can do here, because and if there's a chance that the Webers can come back, then we'll get a Weber versus Weber championship match, because we already know that young Michael Weber and Chris Labiak are going to bowl in our next match. Well, Dad's doing what he needs to do.
I don't think he's
Matter of
missed,
fact, Dad has struck in all 4 of his throws.
I think so, yep.
Is there some nickname if you in Baker format when you throw nothing but strikes? Is that a quasi-perfect game or a Baker's dozen or something like that, right? You know?
Nope, but we can make one up.
Well, you know, why not? I'm pretty sure that's how most of all these other little nicknames are created, by people just making them up.
There we go, big strike right there.
And finally, Kaylin is able to get them all to go down.
Cuts that lead down to 20 pins.
So we are still in a match here. Maybe we do have that Weber chance. All right, final throw here for Callie.
Looking
good. Looking
Look
good.
at that.
8
Great
pins.
shot.
Boy, we've had a lot of cool stuff happen on this show, but watching 7-year-old Callie Raxenberger strike as she did in the 3rd frame is right up there with the all-time
That should be on the
highlights.
highlight reel.
All the way right up there with the all-time highlights. All right, look, she's got it all lined up. Ready? Eyeing it down. Nice approach. Good
Foul
throw. Gonna get a little hook right to left. Too much hook, too much hook. A little bit.
I think she's captured the heart of the crowd, though.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? She's captured our heart as well, too. What a great job by 7-year-old Callie Raxenberger. She'll be proud of this until about like 6 or 7 years from now, when Mom takes out the recording and shows it to her, and then she'll wonder how Mom let her go on TV like that. All right, so Carrie probably wants to grab these last 4 pins to make sure there's no doubt going into our 10th frame.
Well, she wants to make Mike do what he has been doing, which is strike, that's for sure.
Oh, good spare pickup.
All right.
Good spare pickup for the Raxenberger squad. And Carrie will get 1 more to post up the final score. And again, like you said, Mike is our final bowler for Team Weber, and he's done nothing but strike.
So Mike needs to strike on his first ball.
Okay, because the final score is posted up of a 203 for the Raxenberger squad. So a strike here by Mike Weber will get them into our championship match, where all of those excellent teachings of his son could come back to haunt him. Mike Weber for the win. No! He needed a strike. He gets 9 pins. So it's going to be the Raxenbergers. We're going to get to see Callie bowl a little bit more here.
Wow, what a surprise.
So that's great. So it's the Raxenbergers that win match number 2. So it's going to be Team Raxenberger versus Team Labiak and Weber in our championship match. You're going to want to stick around for that. We'll be right back with more of Beat the Champs Adult Youth Challenge here at the Tonawanda Bowling Center. Kaylin, can you give your dad a little advice on how to handle those clutch 10-pin throws like that?
You can't really do much about it. He just throws it and it happens. I don't know.
How did this go for you? Do you feel pretty good about the way you bowled?
Yeah, we can't win them all, so we won the first 2, but we give other people a chance. So it's okay.
See, you're teaching her the right attitude, aren't you?
Yeah, it would have been nice to
face Michael in the finals to get a chance to beat him, but she bowled wonderful. We left she left a 10 pin, a solid 8 pin. I left my 10 pin. I mean, Carrie and Kaylee bowled awesome, so can't do nothing about it. They bowled great.
So you're good to cheer on your brother then?
Yeah.
All right, good. There you go. So this team Weber will cheer on the other Weber that's bowling in our championship match against the Raxenbergers. That is coming up right after this on Beat the Champ. Championship match. It's Carrie and Callie Raxenberger against Michael Weber and Chris Labiak. How come Chris Labiak wasn't holding Michael Weber up in his arms like the other team was? Or maybe the other way around.
It might be the other way around, right?
Okay, so here's the challenge for Chris and Michael is a big difference on the handicap.
91 pins.
And if Callie keeps throwing the ball like that and knocking pins down, it's going to be tough to overcome with all those pins falling.
Good count.
So yes, good count for Callie.
I mean, in a one-game match, 91 pins is a lot of pins no matter how you look at it.
It is, yes,
So.
it is a lot of pins. But we just nearly saw the Webers come back from 50 pins in our last match. I know that's double, almost double, but we'll see.
We'll see.
You know, again, the way that there's no prayer of it happening is if young Callie keeps knocking pins down like she's doing. On her way to a spare, just misses.
She's got some good form, I'll tell you. Got the good little knee bend and a good little follow through, and she watches.
She's been watching Mom and all her good bowling friends, right? Who know what they're doing. So now it's Michael Weber will lead things off here for his teammate with Chris Labiak. Look at the big, strong backswing and pounding through the pins by Michael Weber.
He's a good little bowler.
Oh yeah,
Very solid game.
He's not so little at 16 years old. He's a good up-and-coming big bowler. St. Joe's High School is where Michael Weber bowls and goes to school, and just an incredible list of achievements and accomplishments already at age 16. We'll rattle some of those off as we go through the match. Good spare pickup for Mike in the first frame, and now Chris will step up.
Well, bowling has a promising future when you look at these young people bowl.
Well, and let's go beyond that, you know, just in some of the young bowlers that we've seen be successful on our regular show, Dana Vojtovic and Bianco and some of those, you know, some of the young, the Chad Mees of the world and things like that. I mean, you know, all those guys, a lot of those guys were competitive in the Obenauer, which is an ultimate test. So the next generation of bowlers in this town, for people that may have thought that this sport was losing some of its steam and there wasn't necessarily a next generation ready to take off, to pick up the slack, I think they're wrong. I think we're seeing that all over the board. That there is a generation, a younger generation that enjoys this sport and works at it and gets good at it. And again, when a 21-year-old wins the Obenauer Masters after 2 in a row, that's right, you beat me to it. 2 21-year-olds in a row win the Obenauer Masters. That probably has some of the more veteran bowlers in town going, what is going on?
Well, I think when we talk to these bowlers and they talk about their preparation, it's all coming out. I mean, there's starting to be some consistency to what they're talking about, and they're educating themselves on a different level. It's not just about bowling balls anymore, and it's not just about fundamentals. They're learning the nuances of how to read your bowling ball and what's happening in the separate parts of the bowling lane, and they're getting very smart.
Here's the third frame, second throw for Callie Raxenberger, and she continues to knock those pins down. Now, you may have seen on the graphic that it's an 85-pin handicap for the Raxenberger team, but the reason we talked about 91 is because of Chris and Michael's outstanding averages. They're actually a -6.
Right,
that's where we get the 91.
Negative pins, right?
Right, negative pins. All right, so Callie's got that locked-in focus. So does Fran Bax, for that matter, too, as he fills in for Janelle on the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard.
Well, I like the fact her preparation is the same. She starts with her knee bend. Oh, love it.
Looks good. Looks good. I think the face tells you the story about
she comes back and she's all little girl, but when she bowls, she's very deliberate.
We need the camera on the other side showing you how locked in she is.
I'll bet she's got an intense look on her face.
That's great. That is just fantastic. Wobbling, but not going down.
Wow.
It's still moving. Look, it only stopped moving when it got grabbed.
The Weber kids have not gotten a lot of breaks today.
No, you're right about that. That was almost 18 miles per hour on that throw by Michael Weber. Michael Weber was competed in the New York State Catholic League State Championships Most Outstanding Bowler Award, #1 qualifier, finished second in the step ladder finals. Monsignor Martin division records: high game of 300, high average of 228, high series of 833. The only bowler to have ever had 2 800s in the history of the league was Michael Weber.
Wow. Wow. I say wow, but then I see him execute, and I'm not surprised.
Chris Labiak trying to keep up with his teammate there.
I know. Well, they're down 75 pins.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking as I'm watching Chris, and we talk a lot. Chris was the first two-hander we've ever had on the show, and obviously Dana Vojtovic has taken that to a different level. We got to get the two of those guys matched up somehow. We got to get Chris and Dana on the show together and have our first ever. I don't think we've had a two-hander versus two-hander match.
No. There's
just not that many of them around.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the next thing for us to look for to see whether things fall in place. We've had a father versus son. We've had a lot of those kind of neat little opportunities on the show. But the double two-hander challenge, we got to get that going. This is Carey in the fourth frame. Yeah, they're not the first ones to have trouble with those corner pins here. Had a lot of that today.
Nope.
A lot of that.
Still up 74.
Kind of nice to go into a match up by 91 pins, huh? Takes a little bit of the pressure off.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
All right, back to Mike. I rattled off some of his achievements.
Yeah.
Buffalo Scratch Team champion, Scratch Doubles champion, Tonawanda Scratch champion. I'm not sure whether there's a bowling community in Western New York that he isn't the champion at age 16. First place in the Buffalo Proprietors Association Tournament of Champions, bowled a 300 and a 1484 for 6 games in that tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question we're gonna get Michael Weber on the regular part of the show here soon.
And I mentioned when this first started is that these lanes have really dried up and forcing the bowlers in, and he's perfectly comfortable in that spot.
Back-to-back strikes. Actually, that's 4 in a row for the Chris and Michael team. They cutting into the lead here a little bit?
Yeah, the lead is gone.
Yeah.
They're up 13 now.
Chris and Mike are.
Chris and Mike are up 13, yeah.
So the 91 pin advantage has slipped away. Still a chance to get it back, though.
Oh, good shot.
This is the 8th frame here for Team Raxenberger with a spare. And final throw of the day for young Callie Raxenberger, her final roll. Let's see if she can't end it on a high note. All right over the middle arrow. There we go. We got some pins knocked down there. Now the tricky spare, right? Teach him early how to pick up those spares. And you know what? None of it matters, because if you haven't fallen in love with young Callie Raxenberger over this show, I don't know what would ever get you to do it. What a great opportunity to see a terrific kid who just loves the sport and loves trying to be good at the sport, and that's all
It's
that you
something she
want.
could do with her mom, too.
Oh, absolutely. That is great. And that's what's great about the sport of bowling. A little miss of the target there for Michael Weber, but the big comeback from the Weber-Labiak team is going to get them to a championship here at our Tonawanda Bowling Center Adult Youth Challenge. Maybe a good strategic move by Chris Labiak teaming up with Michael Weber, because at some point he's going to have to start bowling against him.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe he'll show a little sympathy towards Chris when they're bowling against each other down the road.
Well, the secret to Baker is putting together, you know, a pretty consistent average team. So when you're dealing with these discrepancy in averages, you know, it's hard to get a string going. So in this case, they were pretty evenly matched, which was really to their advantage.
Now, when you do doubles like this, do you always account in for the handicap, or not always? That just depends on.
Actually, most things are handicapped these days. There's not too many scratch things left.
So usually when you're team bowling like this, there's always a factor worked into it.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris has got a couple of more here to finish things off and post up the final score and take home the trophy. Oh, what a nice spare pickup that was. That one, that was pretty daunting as he was staring it down. Wow, very good job by Chris Labiak. What a way to wrap this up.
Well, he's going to shoot 212, and Kerry could have struck out for 208. So it was still close.
Okay. So we're not done yet
No,
here,
we're
huh?
done. We're
oh,
done.
we're done now, but we
it's a lot
almost could
closer
have
than
been.
it looks, right?
All right, well, that's
That
good.
spare was very important.
And it will not go down. Doesn't matter, though, so a 211 goes on the board. It's going to be enough to give the Labiak-Weber team a win. We'll watch the 10th frame here for Carrie Raxenberger to finish things off. But this was fun. This really was fun, as it always is when we get a chance to see the young generation, next generation of bowlers here in Western New York, and someday down the line we'll see. We know we're going to see Michael. We'll probably see Callie at some point winning lots of championships around town. We're going to come back and wrap this up and talk to our winning team when we return to the Tonawanda Bowling Center here on Beat the Champ. Well, Callie, you look like you were having so much fun out there. What is it that you love so much about bowling?
I don't know.
There has to be. You look like, aside from knocking pins down, you seem to like that a lot, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it fun just to be able to hang out and do something that your mom loves to do too?
Yes.
Yeah. And where do you think you want to? You want to keep bowling? Is this something you want to try to keep getting better at?
Uh-huh.
All right, so there you go. Plan on seeing a lot more of Callie Raxenberger. Mom, how much fun is it to pass a little bit of the legacy on to your daughter like this?
It's a lot of fun. I can't be any more prouder of what she did out here. She bowled great, and she tried her best, and that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely, no question about it. Meanwhile, these guys did the same thing, Sue, but wound up with the win.
So did you have fun beating up on a 7-year-old? No, great job. Great job. Well, you know, you guys were the heavy hitters here, you know, coming in with the evenly matched averages. Wasn't that kind of a bit of a strategy here with this format?
Oh yeah, definitely. Had to find another bowler, and it was a my dad texted Chris, and he said he can come, and it was good. It's nice to take the title home, and it's not my sister, it's me.
And so, kind of good strategy getting a new partner?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
No, great bowling, you guys. It was super impressive, and you got a great career ahead of you, boy.
All right, so it's Chris and Michael that wind up with the win here at our Tonawanda Bowling Center Adult Youth Challenge. Sue and I will come back and wrap up our stay here in Tonawanda. Get you ready for next week's show when we return on Beat the Champ.
Well, now that all of our hearts are melted, how do we go forward from here?
I don't know. It's too bad we didn't have any pictures or video of you when you were 7 years old so we could compare styles.
No, I wasn't that cute. No way.
No, come on. I doubt that. So, yeah, it was what a pleasure to watch some of the bright young bowlers, not just Callie because she's so darn cute, but even a Michael and a Kaylin and Elaine. I mean, these kids are serious about the sport. They love it. They want to get better at it, and they're our next generation of guys that we're going to be showing and talking to on a weekly basis.
I know, this was so fun. This fourth show was really a good time, and here she comes right now.
She wants a little more TV time. You're more than welcome, Callie. Back to the regular bowling. Josh Nowak, our champion, will advance. We'll talk to you from Alley Brandt Lanes, where he's going to face a whole new lineup of tough bowlers as everybody tries to beat the champ. We'll see you next week from Lockport.